Hello. This video is going to discuss how to use Excel to do some very simple formulas, but also to know how to look at data on the Excel spreadsheet and analyze it. So if you will download this step-by-step guide while I go through this, that will be helpful for you so that you're going to be able to take notes. And then you'll be able to go back and hopefully do the assignment fairly easily. Okay. All right. So we're going to switch over here to our template. And this is an example. It's going to be with the same categories as your assignment. So it has the patient ID, age, gender, ethnicity, the pre-intervention blood pressure, the post-intervention blood pressure, the technology that was used to follow up on the blood pressure, whether follow-up was completed, and blood pressure improvement. Now, the blood pressure improvement is filled out already on your sheet, but I want to show you a simple formula of how you could do this. With 20 patients, it's not, that bad if you had to do it by hand, but what if you had 500 or 1,000? So I will show you how to have the computer calculate that for you. All right. But first of all, we'll look at these headers. If you wanted to change the name of a header, all you do is click on the box. You can double click it, and then you can go ahead and change it to whatever you want. So if you just wanted, patient ID like that, you can put that in, or we're going to go ahead and change it back to um, writing it out. All right. Now, I like to have the headers bolded. So you can just click the either the row, or you can just go ahead and click the cells that you want to be bolded and go up and hit bold. Now, of course, since mine were bolded already, when I hit bold, it's going to unbold them, but now we'll put them back. All right. I think that makes it stand out a little better, so it's easier for the person reading the chart. Next thing we need to do is save. Now, I will go ahead. I went ahead and typed this in already, but you want to say, you'll put save as, and then wherever you want to send it to. And then you're going to go ahead and type in your last name, then an underscore, your first name underscore, nursing 405 underscore, module 2. And then as far as on the directions, it has XLSX, and that is just an Excel workbook. So if it's already typed here or here, save as type, and it says Excel workbook, you don't have to put that in. It'll put it in for you. And then you go ahead and hit save. So you have to choose a folder that you want to place this in. So hopefully you have a folder for 405 or you have a folder for module 2, and you can put this in your cloud. So if you have a OneDrive, I think school gives everybody a OneDrive if you want to keep it there, or keep it on your personal computer. If you do any assignments at work, you're definitely going to have to save it to the cloud or the OneDrive so that you're able to access it from home or school or wherever you're at. So then you're just going to hit save. All right. So it says it already exists. So I'm not going to do anything with it. All right. So the next thing that it tells you to do on your example is or on your step-by-step is to format the table. So how do you do that? Well, it told you to do it. I'll show you how it told you to do it, and then I'll show you another way to do it. All right. So if you highlight the table, if you go up here under styles and hit format table, you can go ahead and click whatever table type you want. So let's say that I just want the header line bolded. Okay, there it is. So the header's bolded. You can choose whatever color you want, and then that's, taken care of. Another way to do it is if you click anywhere in the table and you go to table design, if you click on that, you'll see over here that it gives you choices of table styles. So if you click the drop down arrow, you can either change it back to where there's no formatting, or you can change it back to where there's colors. And I'm going to change it back to where the header is bolded. All right. So that's another way you can get to format your table, is go up to table design. But this table design does not appear unless you click on your table. All right. So as soon as you click anywhere on the table, you'll see table design up there, and then you can go over and use it. All right. The next thing that we'll do is you go to table design, and over here where it says table name, we're going to call it data. So we're changing this table 1 to data. All right. So that if we say we want to do something with this Excel spreadsheet, it'll be able to identify that it's this table you're wanting to work with, or this spreadsheet, if you just call it data. Okay. All right. So now it's already called data, so we're fine. So we're going to go ahead and go back to home. All right. And we're going to calculate this blood pressure improvement area. Now, again, yours is filled out, but if we wanted to do this, any formula that you use in Excel, you start with equal. All right. That shows the Excel that it's going to be a formula. Then you're going to look over here, and what we want to do is subtract the post-intervention from the pre-intervention. So we're going to go pre-intervention. So you click on a cell, which will be D2. We'll click on the first cell, and you'll see that it puts in pre-intervention for you. And then we're going to subtract this number, which is post-intervention. All right. So if you click on the cells, it will put the information in for you. Then you're going to click enter. And as you click enter, it's going to fill in all of the values for you. All right. So that is a big time saver if you're dealing with a lot of patients. You can add things, you can subtract things, you can have Excel do all kinds of different formulas, but that's a very simple one that I wanted to show you. All right. So now we want to calculate average if. Now, average if, again, is where you use a formula. Now, the computer will put formulas in for you if you click on different things, just like it did the post-intervention. If you look up here, it tells you what formula you put in the cell. So there it is up here, the pre-intervention minus the post-intervention. But I like to use pivot tables. I think they're easier to use, and you can use it for all kinds of different data. So we're going to focus on pivot tables today. But if you look on this week's material, you'll see a description of average if as well as count if. All right. So that you can see what it is and how to use it. All right. Pivot table, you're going to click the table. All right. So you can click any cell. It really doesn't make any difference. Then you're going to go up to insert, and you'll see this icon of a pivot table. You just click on that, and you already see the table range is data. So it's going to go ahead where you see where this dotted line is going around. It's going to get data from the whole table name. So there's your table name. So you're going to do an existing worksheet. And what that means is that you're going to put this information on the same worksheet as your table so that you can see it all together. All right. To get something on an existing worksheet, you just click in the cell where you want the table to go. So I'm going to click right here in K. All right. That tells the location of where this table is going to go. Then I'm going to hit OK. And over here, you're going to see different fields or different, fields that you're going to look for. So in this example, we want to see if there was a difference in how much the blood pressure improved depending on what technology was used. So what you do is you're going to, the values would be the blood pressure, right? How much the blood pressure improves. So if you click on that, you can drag it down to values, some of the values. And what do we want to compare it to? We want to compare the technology to see if the technology had any effect on the blood pressure. Now, we do not want the sum we don't want them to add all the blood pressures together. What we want is an average. So to get that, you go under this values to the drop-down arrow, and where it says value field settings, you're going to click on it. Another box will open up, and what we want is the average. So you're going to click average, and you're going to click OK. All right. So if we get rid of this table here, you see that a table was already created for us, and it says row labels and average blood pressure improvement. Well, I don't want this to say row labels, so I'm going to double click it, and I'm going to change it to technology. Technology used. All right. So we have technology used, which is either remote blood pressure monitor or telehealth follow-up. And then this is the amount of the average blood pressure improvement. Now, we usually don't want to work with all these decimal places. So what we can do is we can highlight those numbers, go up to where it says number, you go down from where it's general, or you can just click down and click on number. All right. And that will automatically put it in 2 decimal places. Another way to do that is just to do this little drop down area and choose number. And over here, you can choose how many decimal places you want it to go. So let's say you don't want any decimal places. If you hit OK, it takes all the decimal places away. But for this assignment, we wanted to use 1 decimal place. So we're going to go ahead to number. We're going to change it up to 1, and we're going to hit OK. And there's our 1 decimal place. So you can look at this and see, well, it looks like the telehealth follow-up, they had a greater improvement in their blood pressure than the remote. So you have to think about why that might be. All right. But we want to look at a lot of other data from this table. So we're going to make more pivot tables. So the next one we want to look at is to look at, did it matter if the follow-up was completed? So again, you're going to click any cell on your table, your data table. You're going to go up and click Insert, click on the pivot table, and you're going to go to Existing Worksheet. And now I'm just going to put the next table under this one. So I'm going to click the cell right here and then click OK. All right. So now again, we need to choose, what do we want to compare, or what do we want to look at? Well, we want to see if the follow-up completed. So we're going to go down and find follow-up completed. It's going to be our row. Affects the average blood pressure improvement. Now, when you click this in there, it automatically does sum. All right, so it's going to add everything together. So we're going to have to, again, do the drop-down arrow, go up to value, fields, settings, and click average and click OK. So we get our table out of that out of the way. And again, it says row labels. It doesn't label it for us. So we're going to double click, get rid of that, and we're going to put the follow-up. So I'm just going to put FU completed. All right. So FU completed. Well, that doesn't sound too good. But anyway, follow-up completed. And then the average of blood pressure improvement. So you see the 1 here is just the plain whole number, but the yes has all these decimal places. So if you remember, we can go ahead and change that to 1 decimal place by clicking on the cell, going up to numbers, click the down arrow, change it to number, then we're going to change this decimal place to 1 and click OK. So that will go ahead and take that away and change it for us to just 1 decimal place. So if we looked at this, we're going to see that, yes, it looks like that the follow-up, if they had follow-up, it's going to have a greater pressure, greater influence on the blood pressure than if they did not have follow-up. So, I mean, excuse me, my throat is just going, let me get a drink here. That's so that you would expect that, right? You would expect if someone's going to follow up with you, you're going to be better at trying to do the intervention. All right. So the next thing we want to look at is to look at the ethnicity and blood pressure. So is there a difference in how much the blood pressure improved on a low sodium diet depending on ethnicity? So we're going to go back, create another pivot table, click any cell, click insert, click pivot table, and we're going to do it on the existing worksheet. So we want to click the location. I'm going to put it below the other 2 tables, hit OK. And now we need to choose, what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at ethnicity. And what effect does ethnicity have on blood pressure improvement? Again, this says sum. We went average. We're going to click under value field settings, click average, and click OK. Get our this field table out of the way, and here we go. So I'm going to change my row labels to ethnicity. And there's the average blood pressure improvement. So if you go ahead and look at the different the ethnicities, you'll see here the numbers. So what you would do is go through and you would analyze that, look at it and say, okay, which had the greatest level of improvement? Now, again, we always want these in just numbers to the 10th place. So we're going to go back up to number, go to number here, click it to 1 decimal place, and have it change it for us. All right. So hopefully you're getting the idea of how to do these pivot tables. They're pretty easy. You can get a lot of information from them. All right, so let's do another one. This one is going to be gender. So you can click anywhere on your table, click insert, click pivot table, go on existing worksheet. Where do we want to put it? I'm going to put it right here. Hit OK. Now we want to choose gender. We're going to drag that down into rows. And our value, again, is going to be blood pressure improvement. We need to change it to average. And then we get our field table out of the way. So here we are. Our row label will change to gender. double click it, decrease this, put gender, and then we're going to change our numbers to only one decimal place. So we need to go back to home to find the number. So we're going to go to number and change it to one decimal place and click OK. All right. So look at how much information we have here so far. We look to see if the technology affects the blood pressure improvement, if the follow-up affects it, if ethnicity affects it, if the gender affects it. And now we're going to look and see how about the age. All right. So to do that, we're going to, again, do another pivot table. So we're going to click anywhere on the table, hit insert, do a pivot table, do the existing worksheet, and then I'm going to put my table here, click OK. So we want to know, does age have any effect on the average blood pressure? So change this to average. And get our table out of the way. All right, so there we go. Now, instead of having all these numbers, which would be sort of hard to keep track of, it's better if you have it in groups of the age like 10 years at a time. So I'm going to click on the table and right click and go to group. All right, so click group. And we want to group these. Now it says starting at, it automatically picks the lowest age of our patient and the highest age of our patient. And we want to list them as 10-year increments. So we hit OK. So this is going to change our table to look at how many people between the ages of 41 to 50, what was their level of blood pressure improvement? 51 to 60, 71 to 61 to 70, and so forth. I want to change this so that it's clear to whoever looks at this that we're talking about age. All right. So we have age, the average improvement of blood pressure. These two rows have all these decimal places. So I want to go back to number, put number, change it to one decimal place, and OK. All right, so that helps our table to be a little bit clearer and not so busy. All right. So again, lots and lots of data here just by doing these pivot tables. The next thing that it says here is to do conditional highlighting. So to do conditional highlighting, you're going to click on the blood pressure improvement rows. So you're going to highlight those. All right. Then we're going to go up to conditional formatting, click the arrow, and you can do either manage rules or highlight rules. If we do highlight rules, we're going to say if it's greater than 20, so we would change it to 20. And we want that green because that is good. So we'll put green, okay, because that means that they had a really great improvement in blood pressure. So we hit OK, and we see that all the values that were greater than 20 were highlighted in green. So now we want to know, did anyone actually have a higher blood pressure by using the treatment than, you know, did it get higher? Not did it stay the same, but did the blood pressure actually go up? We want to highlight those in red. So we're going to go to, again, highlight this row or these rows, okay, this column, and do conditional formatting. And then if it's less than 0, okay, because that means it stayed the same. But if it's less than, that means that their blood pressure was actually higher post-intervention than pre-intervention. We're going to do that with red, and we're going to click OK. So now we see that there's two values here where the blood pressure actually went up from the baseline pre-intervention. All right. So you have to figure out, why did that happen? Um, what kinds of things would cause the blood pressure to go up versus getting better with the intervention. All right. Then let's see what's next. It says, do a technology summary table using a bar chart. All right. So here's our technology table right here. So if we highlight that, I'm not going to highlight the grand total because that doesn't really mean anything right now to us. Highlight that and go up to Insert. And then you can either go to Recommended Charts, and it lists all these on the side, or you can just go over here where it said, the pictures. So this tells you that that's a bar chart and so forth. And this would be statistic chart. So we're going to just choose this, and we're going to do a chart like that. All right. So if we go ahead, you can move this chart anywhere you want. So we're going to move it down here so we can keep it all on the same page. All right. And what does this tell us? Well, this tells us that the telehealth follow-up, it looks like the average blood pressure improvement was greater with the telehealth follow-up than with the monitoring the blood pressure. Okay. So if you click on this, you can go ahead and rename the table just so it's easy for the person looking at the table to see what you're talking about. And this is the improvement in blood pressure. Okay. So that's, if you click on, just hover over the bar, it actually tells you the exact value of the blood pressure improvement. You can sort of see that the telehealth is close to 30, but if you look here, you'll see that it was 29.4. And you'll see the improvement in blood pressure with monitoring was 18.5. So that is just a visual representation that is just at a glance, you can see that this telehealth was better in blood pressure improvement than the monitoring the blood pressure. Okay. So another one here, it says to do a pie chart using the follow-up. So if we go here to follow-up completed, we're going to go ahead and highlight that table. And again, it does not matter for the average blood pressure if they added that together. So we're going to go now and do insert, and we want a pie chart. So again, here's the pie chart. Or you could do recommended charts and go down to where it says pie. All right, either way, this is going to show you what it looks like. And if we hit OK, and we're going to drag this down so that we can see it down low enough. There we go. We'll just put it here in between. So what is this showing? Well, you see over here, this says follow-up completed, yes or no. Whenever you have any of these charts, if you go over to this plus, it tells you different things that you can add to your chart. So if I click data labels, it'll actually show the exact value of the blood pressure improvement with follow-up or without follow-up. Now, with this, it's black, the writing, so you would have to change that so that the reader would be able to see what it was. I'm just going to take it out for now. Or you can actually change the color of the chart where it would be easier to read. So if you go over here and you decide, well, that blue just isn't, it's not letting me see what I want to see. You can click that one and it would go ahead and tell you that 70% of the people had better blood pressure than with yes than with not having any type of follow-up. So the legend is over here telling you what these mean, yes and no. So it says yes, there's the value, no, there's the value, okay? All right, so that, I think, is the end. This multi-condition comparison just says to compare the blood pressure improvement technology used and if follow-up was completed. So if we were going to do this, we could go ahead and click on the chart. We're going to hit insert, do another pivot table. We're going to do it on the existing worksheet, or you could put it on a new sheet. It's really up to you. I have to go down and choose a location for it. I'm going to choose it right here. Click OK. And now we're going to do some filters. All right, we can do filters or we can do columns. Well, let's go ahead and we know our blood pressure intervention is always going to be improvement, is going to be value. So now what do we want the rows? Do we want the row to be technology or follow-up completed? We'll just do technology here and follow-up completed there. And go ahead and change this to average. And get our field table out of the way. All right. So this says the average improvement in blood pressure with remote monitoring, it was 9. And if they didn't get follow-up, it was 24. And again, let's go ahead and change all these to just one decimal place. So we're going to go back to home, go to number again, change that to 1 and click OK. So that's just easier to read and see. All right. So this tells you that, yes, even in the remote blood pressure, if they had follow-up, they had a greater drop in blood pressure than with no follow-up. And with telehealth follow-up, the same thing. The amount of decrease in blood pressure was higher if they got follow-up than if they did not get follow-up. So you can look at a lot of different areas together. So you might want to just play with this if you want to try and look to see, with if gender or ethnicity had any effect. You can put a lot of these together and see what the values would come out as. All right. So hopefully that helps and you'll be able to do the assignment easier as well as see the value in this data. All right. So please, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you next time. Okay. Bye-bye.